Hi, viewers. This is Upesh Jain, founder and host of the Exec Talk channel, here with Dilip Saraf, LinkedIn's top career coach. In this series, Discuss with Dilip, we talk about a variety of topics that will benefit you in your professional and personal life. The topic we brought today is establishing your personal brand. Now, Dilip, what is your personal brand? Most people, as we know, think of brands as associated with being associated with corporations or big institutions like Coca-Cola
Yeah,
or Maytag or what have you.
right.
How do you define it? What is a personal brand?
Okay, personal brand is a statement of your purpose and how do you manifest that purpose to benefit others. Uh, a personal brand is a statement that stems from the core of your being as to what you do and how you deliver that to others in a unique and differentiated way. That's what
Mhm,
defines the personal brand. So let me give you some terminology that will help you
mhm,
understand a little bit better.
mhm,
There are two aspects of somebody's presence. One is image, the person or the corporation or an entity carries, and the identity that they carry. Image is or has to do with how you want people to see you, and identity has to do with who you really are. Now, when you create a brand and a branding statement, it's a fusion of these two things: your identity as to the core of who you are,
mhm.
and the image of how you want people to see you. And
Right.
when you bring them together,
Mhm.
if you want to kind of call it a Venn diagram,
Right.
the intersection of that is the brand that conveys how you do what you do to benefit others.
Mhm,
So, brand, as you said, is not limited to an entity, a corporation, or a product.
mhm,
Brand is related to anything that is defined in a way
mhm,
that consistently deliver the same value over and over again without fail.
mhm,
That's the brand. Now,
mhm.
my brand as a career coach is reinvention. That's what I do. In fact, my tagline on LinkedIn is LinkedIn's top reinvention guru. That's what I do. And
Mhm.
everything that I touch, everything I publish, everything I promote, everything I um, convey through my medium, LinkedIn, whatever, has to do with exactly that. How do you manage your career
Mhm.
so that you can reinvent yourself or you can manage your career better through your genius and through your branding?
Mhm.
So I don't do anything else. When I publish, a New York Times article on LinkedIn feed, for example,
Mhm.
it has to do with how you manage your career. I
Mhm.
don't go into politics. I don't go into finance. I don't go into,
Mhm.
relationships. None of that stuff. I just stay focused on careers and how to improve your career. So that's how you kind of crystallize your brand.
Mhm.
It's tempting to go horizontally and say, oh, I will do finance and I will do relationships and I will do whatever, right? Negotiations and all of that.
Mhm.
But what that happens is it confuses people.
Mhm.
And only you can manage that confusion
Mhm.
because a brand is not just what you do,
Mhm.
a brand is also what you don't do or won't do,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the image, and with that image, there's a certain capability that's
Right.
associated with that, right?
Right. And the identity part, right? The image is what you want to convey, what you want people to see you as.
Yeah.
And identity is who you really are.
Yeah. And I might be off, but do you see that like in certain sports people or actors or you know uh, perhaps CEOs and so on and so forth?
Oh, absolutely, happens all the time. I mean, let's take an example of actors, right? When an actor is typecast
Hmm.
or stereotyped, right?
Mhm.
Typecast is a better word,
Mhm.
into a particular role,
Mhm.
and they do that 2 or 3 times consecutively in a show or a movie or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Then more the often than not, they carry that brand and that's how they are seen. Happens all the time.
Right.
And they cannot break away from it
Yeah.
unless they consciously make an effort
Right.
to realize that and break away into other roles and reject the roles that stereotype them
Yeah.
or typecast them, right?
Absolutely.
So it requires a conscious effort to manage your brand, and it's not easy because it's tempting. There's money all over the place.
Right.
If you stay true to your brand, you go only after the opportunities that align with that brand.
I see. So why is creating a personal brand necessary?
It is necessary for 2 reasons. Number one, to reduce noise out in the marketplace. There is a
Mhm.
lot of noise. There is a lot of noise. There are a lot of books on self-help. There are a lot of books on, YouTube videos on career coaching and all of that stuff, right?
Mhm.
And then why do people come to me despite all of that, right?
Mhm.
Because they know exactly what they're going to get when they come to me, right?
Right.
And so part of the reason for branding is to make that definition so clear to the audience you're targeting
Mhm.
that the noise goes away when you have that level of clarity, right?
Yeah.
And it also helps you attract the noise, incoming noise.
Mhm.
I will not get a call from a troubled couple who says, my husband doesn't love me anymore. That doesn't happen to me.
Mhm.
But they will call me if they say, my career has tanked and that's why my marriage is falling apart.
Mhm.
Can you help me with my career?
Mhm.
Then helping with the career will translate into perhaps a better marriage, but that's not my objective.
Yeah.
And I make that very clear in the first session. That, look, I'm not here to save your marriage.
Mhm.
I'm here to prop up your career, which might help you save your marriage,
Right.
which is a different way of stating the same objective rather than saying, oh, I can fix your marriage, no problem.
Wow. Okay. So what is required to create a personal brand? I mean, we talked about the basic definitions,
Yeah.
image and identity, etc. But what is at the ground level? How do I begin? I mean, to create my brand.
You begin by asking yourself the very fundamental question. What is my, I call it CPOP, customer point of pain,
Hmm.
CPOP.
Hmm.
That means what problem I solve that is paining the audience that will pay me for solving that problem. You
Hmm.
have to be very clear about that.
Right.
And once you have that clarity, you need to be able to articulate that in verbal terms. Write it down in 1 or 2 sentences that should exactly address the need that comes from what pain point you're going to solve. And once you have that clarity, then you can develop your entire repertoire, if you want to call it that, your blogs, you write your books, you speak, you develop audiences, you create, videos, all of that stuff that you do has to be centered with that single focus,
Right.
nothing else.
Absolutely.
Because both sides, there is noise in the market
Hmm.
because everybody wants everything. And there is noise coming in as a provider. People say, oh, well, my marriage is trouble. My finances are in trouble. Will you help me, manage my finances? I said, no, that's not what I do.
I
So
see.
once again, brand is not only what you do,
Hmm.
brand is also what you don't do.
I see. So, last question on this topic. How do you utilize and benefit from your personal brand to traverse through your professional or personal life?
I
So,
think there's 3 ways you benefit. Number one, the inbound traffic that you get
mhm,
is exactly aware of what they can expect to get from you, and they will get it. Because I have such a strong brand over the last 24 years that I've been doing. So when people call me, they know exactly what they're going to get.
mhm,
Secondly, I don't market myself. I don't, spend money advertising myself, Facebook, and I don't do. All my traffic is inbound. That's because of my brand.
Mhm.
All my incoming traffic is referral traffic from clients. And that's why I have like over 300 recommendations, because those who wrote them say, I saw Jim Smith write your recommendation. He's a
Yeah.
best friend of mine. Can you help me like you helped Jim? Right? That's the inbound thing. And the third advantage of this
Mhm.
is it makes your life very simple.
Mhm.
I don't get noisy calls. I don't get calls. I mean, can you save my marriage? Can you help my finances? Can you help my girlfriend? No, I only get, can you help my career? That's it.
You don't try to be everything to everybody,
No,
but
no. And
just,
not even in a peripheral way.
yeah.
As I said, marriage and careers are related.
Mhm.
But if they come and say, my marriage is in trouble, can you help me? I said, well, is it because of your career is tanked?
Mhm.
And she says, yes. Then
Mhm.
I can help you shore up your career, and then you can decide whether how that saves your marriage, which is a different approach.
Absolutely.
That clarity is very important to keep your sanity.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you mean everything to everybody and nothing to anybody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
So,
the problem.
bottom line, I mean, you have to spend effort creating your brand. It doesn't create
Well, it
automatic.
takes a tremendous effort to create a brand.
And once created, uh, you stick to it and it'll
Yeah.
benefit.
It carries itself, but you have to be true to the brand. Then once you kind of establish that brand, you have to be true to the brand.
Absolutely.
And that takes a lot of discipline,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
there are a lot of temptations and distractions, right? Now there's money in crypto, so should I do crypto? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Dilip. This
Okay.
was a wonderful discussion, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank
Thank
you.